Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is the Canadian takeover of the Hotfix. We're having a bunch of Canadian runners show off some games. We have Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I will hand it over, let everybody introduce themselves.
Hello, I am Satori Earth. Yeah, I'm the Canadian, eh? Got my National Film Board of Canada shirt today. Got my toque, of course, and I have a non-Canadian with me, but a fellow runner of the game, Kira.
Hi. I'm pretending to be one for the day.
But, I do run a few Canadian games. Maze, we run The Chant, soon to be Jazz Punk. Well, I say soon to be, but I've been meaning to do that for a year. But today we're going to be doing a Shadow of the Tomb Raider, No Major Glitches, which is a pretty new category. We just had a category split earlier this year, which some of you that may be regulars are going like, haven't we seen this guy run Shadow like multiple times this year? Yeah, you have. But it's been a different run every single time. And today is going to be no exception. This category has not been seen on GDQ, so we got some fun stuff in store for you. And to tie into everything, this game was actually made in Montreal at the Eidos Montreal offices. But we got a long cinematic to get through, so let's just get started here. So time will start when I select the difficulty here in 3, 2, 1, go. But yeah, we got a few unskippable cutscenes, but we also got some crazy skips. So I was talking that we got a brand new category. There was a category split earlier this year. So if you caught the first run I did as Shadow, way back for Lara's birthday in February, we had some crazy, questionably glitchless skips in the run. There was a few more things that came up and was brought up in the community for skips of that sort. So we reopened the discussion of what actually is glitchless and what do people think of when they want to look for a glitchless run, and decided we would split and make a third main category for the game. So of course you got your standard any percent glitched run, which requires down patching for this game because they did patch out a lot of the tech. But that allows you to forcibly clip through walls, do some airwalks, and that pretty wild run. And then we split to have more of a traditional glitchless run. It still allows some minor platforming skips, like jumping to something that is maybe a little earlier than the game would expect you to go, like not quite the dev intended path, but still, within the bounds of the playable area. And now we have our No Major Glitches run, which doesn't allow any wall clipping, doesn't allow any airwalks, but we've got several crazy out-of-bounds skips that are all performed within the game's set mechanics. So we'll jump off of some of the environment and just end up out of bounds. Yes, it's actually that easy to get out of bounds in some spots where we can just jump off of things and end up out of bounds. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the game opens up, little in medias res. We got this dramatic crash scene. No idea what the hell's going on here, but I'm sure we're going to be fine. I mean, it's the protagonist of the game. There's no way she's not fine. Which then opens up into another thing of Lara being in a precarious situation. So we go from a plane crash straight to her being trapped in a caved-in tunnel. Because typical Lara fashion, always getting herself into trouble. Good morning, Lara. And good morning to all of you, because I worked this morning and I just took a brief nap, so I'm actually still a little waking up right now. So the beginning of the game is pretty straightforward. if anyone's ever interested in running these games, you actually can skip all of the first 12-ish minutes of the game in runs, because though we are giving inputs right here, other than a little climb here, it's pretty much just walking for anything and then unskippable cutscenes for the beginning of the game. I'm one of those runners that if I'm running a full game run, I'm going to run the full game. So even during PB attempts, I'm going to be doing this every single run. But there is the option, because this little climb here is really the only like tech we've got for the intro other than just walking. So you'll notice I did some quick little jumps along the wall there. It's Lara's, as you can see, this is more like her regular climbing animation. We're on an overhang, so we can't really do any jumps on this. In fact, this overhang you can't do anything on other than move. But her regular climbing animation's a little on the slow side. So whenever possible on climbable walls, we're going to do little jumps like that, where we jump and reattach to the wall and jump right back off as soon as we're reattaching to the wall. Just allows us to scoot up the wall at about twice the speed of her regular climbing speed. So now we get another little bit of setup to the game's events. There's found one of the early sites of the game, tracing Trinity, which is a large shadowy organization that's been through the entirety of the reboot trilogy of games. This is the third of the quote-unquote reboot or survivor trilogy of the Tomb Raider games.
Now we know what Trinity's after.
Yeah, they really didn't want us in here.
I'm glad we followed your father's notes. I saw where the passage collapsed on you back there. You want me to take a look at that wound?
No, I'm fine.
Want me to take a look at that wound? No, I'm fine. Jonah rolls his eyes. Very disapproving.
Constellations.
This inscription, it's some sort of riddle. Pink fish.
Fish.
Silver-crowned mountain. There's a date here. But something's off.
Date here.
Looks like it was damaged.
Oh my god.
Perhaps intentionally.
Who would do such a thing?
Damaged, perhaps intentionally.
Could be Trinity. They usually just destroy everything.
They usually just destroy everything.
No,
No, I think the damage is older. But who would have tampered with it? And Trinity left a nice little present for Lara.
You gotta get out.
But Lara is a millennial
Gotta get
in the
them
reboots,
pics.
so she's got to take a selfie before she gets out of the, like, collapsing ruins.
And it turns out perfectly fine and not blurry at all.
Hadn't dragged me out, I'd still be in there taking pictures. It's still
Don't be doing much.
I don't know if you'd be doing much.
We play this shit too much.
Group at the cafe.
yeah,
He's supposed to be there.
it's kind of a thing all runners, because we got so many unskippable cutscenes. We all pretty much mock the cutscenes.
Mountains, I'll look in.
But it's
Love,
fun.
love the game. Absolutely love the game. Love the
Exactly.
story, but when you've seen these cutscenes so many times in runs, you gotta have some fun with them.
I could eat a whale.
All right. So now that we've got a little bit more idea of what Trinity's going after, we're going to see there's some big VIP, as Jonah said during that little climbing we did, in Cozumel here for the Day of the Dead. So we're gonna tail him and see who he is and what he's up to.
Let's look around.
Someone must know something.
Which I will say, there was a little excerpt at the beginning of the game that the dev team put in there saying that they consulted historians in that and put a lot of care into like the history and also just the cultures that they're representing in the game. And this is an area that definitely shows it. Like, it's such a nice little lively town that we get to just stroll through right at the start. Now, Jonah's going to provide a nice little distraction for us so we can sneak our way in past these guards, which somehow don't pick up on that's what we're going to do when we're having a conversation about doing that 10 feet away from their faces.
How it always works.
But it always works. Trinity hires nothing but the best.
Exactly.
And they're well briefed men in their job roles too. Given that only Lara is wearing the mask, not Jonah, who's been there since the first game and is well known by Trinity as an ally of Lara. They have no idea who Jonah is, talking face to face with them.
It's because it's real Jonah and not fake Jonah.
Right. We make a joke, if you're familiar with these games at all, Jonah's appearance over the 3 games changes pretty drastically from game to game. He's a lot closer in this game to the first one than anything. He does actually look like a bit of a fitter, aged version of how he's represented in the first game. But yeah, the jump from the first to the second and then the second to the third are like wild. Just wild how different his appearance changes. Same voice actor throughout these series, but his actual physical appearance changes quite a bit.
Yeah, I heard you.
But yeah, after
I hope
Lara,
he breaks again.
My fault.
I still don't know how that happened. Yeah. There's this little sparkler kid. He gets stuck on this one lady in his pathing, but there's one run I had where he actually just he got stuck on her, took like 2 more steps, and then just froze and stopped running. It's in over 1,000 hours with the game. Literally the only time I've ever seen that happen. But back at the gate there, Alara overheard a little bit of their conversation, and she's put together that this VIP, Dominguez, isn't just some big shot. He is the actual leader of the organization. So we're going to continue tailing them and finding out exactly what they're up to here. There's a little bit of getting to see conversations where he appears to be very friendly with all the locals and well respected by them. Of course, being the speedrunners that we are, we're going to ignore all of that and just walk past all these little scenes, except this one where it kind of just forces us against the wall.
You have the photo. Female, Caucasian.
You can actually get off the wall if you didn't know that.
How have you never shared this with me? Is it repeatable?
Yeah, it is, but I just didn't know if it was like slow or not, so I didn't think it was important.
Kira, we've been over this before. You need to time your fines.
Okay, that is true. You can get off the wall early, yeah. Way early. Hey, it's a thing. Just to let you know.
All right, then.
You're welcome.
That would be what, like 3 seconds time save tops, but still, 3 seconds is 3 seconds. Especially in a section where saving time is like non-existent. All right, so this is where if you were to do the intro skip, you would start your run, the checkpoint we just passed. Because now we're into actual, like, regular inputs. So we get a little bit of a stealth tutorial here. We can creep in bushes. We can stealth take down enemies. We can not soft lock the game. Good. There is a soft lock that can happen there where the tutorial text doesn't come off after the stab and then you're just stuck there. Alright, so we get little shooting thing tutorial there. Get to see how bad guys Trinity are. They were gonna just like execute a local archaeologist so he wouldn't say anything.
How dare they?
What bad guys they are.
Such scary much wow.
I know this figure.
What was Okay. That's probably just the camera glitching out in foliage or something.
Alright, so we got a few little platforming skips here that save all of like 3 seconds each. Like right here, we're supposed to jump straight to the wall, but we're going to drop off instead and throw the grapple, which saves the animation of having to rappel off of that wall instead. Crazy tech.
She wants to grab it and not throw it behind her.
Same thing here. We're just going to jump to this wall early instead of having to scoot along and then slowly climb down it. And another one here where I'm going to jump off early and throw the grapple to the overhang. All of those only save like cumulatively 5 seconds, maybe.
I'm entering a cave.
Okay, the one in the middle saves a fair amount, but that one's the easiest to hit out of all of them. The ones that are actually difficult only save like 2 to 3 seconds each.
Of course. How it always works. I still think it's dumb that you can't like reach from like where you are.
I know. So there's...
Like, oh my gosh.
When you first climb up there, you can like very clearly see that final overhang that we jumped to. And it's like you can jump and end up actually really close to it. The game just will not let you attach to it. It's like hard-coded that you have to climb up a little further before you can attach to it. Very, very rude of the devs to not allow us to skip a bigger bit in the middle there.
I mean, you can skip the tutorial. I told you about that, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's really stupid.
So here we get some of the... Not only do we have to deal with Trinity soldiers, but we do have to deal with the environment at certain points of the game as well. So we get introduced to one of the environmental enemies, eels. Purely scripted. We have 2 scripted attacks from eels. All other ones that are in the run are completely avoidable, which is nice because the eel encounters are a little annoying and slow. They grab you, you have a little bit of a QTE to stab them, and then once you come out of the stabbing animation, your camera is completely disorientated, and it sometimes is really difficult to get your bearings as to what direction you're supposed to be going again. Speaking of my commentator's finds here, one that actually was timed, we got a nice little skip here. There's a little cinematic. They are very good at it, and I'm gonna trip the thing anyway. No, we're not accepting that. The checkpoint's literally right here.
Never accept.
Never accept Lara's stuff. No. All right. Yeah, you're way better at this than I am. But we jump off the side there. And we skip a little bit of a cinematic pan and are able to start moving immediately, which also allows us to get further ahead right here. Which, after this little conversation that they're having right now, Lara would normally pull out her radio and force us into a slow walk. But since we get up here before that first bit of conversation ends, we avoid all of that.
My last practice, it was really weird, aka yesterday. She did the deepest, oh damn it, I have ever heard in my life.
Camera shake makes me so nervous on that jump sometimes.
Did not sound like Lara. The camera shake button doesn't do anything. It's worse than Rise. Rise is disgusting. Especially, yeah, no.
We're just not going to talk about Rise.
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about it.
Alright, so we got a nice little puzzle here. Pretty straightforward. Got to push this, turn it so we can pull it the other way and free some debris to raise a bell so that we can climb up further. We can speed it up slightly though by letting go of it early, and it's going to keep turning on its own. And always for safety, pull this a little further than I need to. Oof. And then you hit the death plane.
Oh!
How did I hit the death plane?
Yeah, that...
She was entered the
sure.
repel animation. What?
I thought you were gonna trip the cutscene and then have the camera break.
Yeah, that was...
But no, you just died instead.
that was interesting. But there's a little bit of a skip there. Normally you're supposed to scramble up and shimmy across the wall to the overhang there. It's actually pretty slow. It's a long overhang, and there's a scripted little surprise of bats that fly out and make Lara reach frantically to grab the wall again. And now we get into our first little bit of legitimate combat other than that stealth tutorial we had. So a couple axe swings allows us to get up the little bit of mud here faster. Reload the checkpoint to place us a little bit further forward, and also give me these three guys in pretty much a nice straight line. So I don't really have to adjust my aim much to get all three of them. Although they sometimes drop to their death in front of each other and make it harder to hit the next guy behind them. This encounter, we can skip through the first half of it, and halfway through there's supposed to be a cutscene, and listen, Lars stabbing a guy during the little cinematic. So we get rid of one guy early. That should get rid of the two guys that wear armor, and then we just get rid of everyone else from here. And not get too much stuff thrown at me. Oh my gosh. That pushed me in the gray so fast.
This game is not happening with you today. I'm sorry.
This could be an interesting day. That guy's going to be
so
too far to
sorry.
get blown up by the barrel. Oh, he did get blown up by the barrel. Okay.
Is it because of what I said, Laura? I'm sorry.
You cursed the run. This is
sorry.
all on you.
It
This
was
is
a
all
joke.
on you.
Laura, please, I love you. It was a joke.
This is all on you for cursing the run before we started.
I'm sorry.
But that's how it's supposed to go.
There's a floating gun in the helicopter, by the way, in the cutscene. Just to let you know.
And in typical Lara fashion, we've got more destruction in her wake. So when we were in the cave there, she picked up a dagger impulsively because she heard Trinity closing in, even though she was reading murals that basically said that it would kind of trigger an apocalypse. So she grabbed it and triggered an apocalypse, which starts with a tsunami. So, goodbye Cozumel. It's not really all that there anymore.
I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, what is John saying? You don't know that you caused all this, even though you know that you caused all this.
Not everything is about you.
So you'll see there's several little breathing holes on these swimming sections. We are not going to use a single one of them during the run. For the most part, we'll be able to do the entire swim within one breath. well, the swims that are required for, progression in the game. You'll be able to do in one breath, and then there's the occasional time where we'll reset a checkpoint instead of using a breathing hole, which is generally going to place you a little past the breathing hole. And as well, the reload checkpoint is slightly faster than the animation where she actually like goes up into the hole and takes a breath. So nice, ignoring my sprint input. Okay, we didn't get FPS meme. That was a jank jump, but
yeah, that looked scary. I was gonna say,
there's a little bit of a meme on that one jump we did off of the street lamp there. For whatever reason, on console at 60 frames per second, she kind of shorts that jump. Like, even when we did hit it there, she barely landed on the rooftop after. On console at 30 frames or on PC, regardless of frame rate, she lands about like 2-3 feet further down that roof. But for whatever reason, on console at 60 frames per second, she lands really short, which sometimes means she'll enter a slip animation and just fall back into the water instead of actually progressing and sliding down the roof, which is really fun. And now we got another little bit of a cutscene, so this plane might look a little bit familiar. I'm sure nothing bad's gonna happen, right? Right?
nah, we're fine.
Also, stay hydrated, chat. I'm actually a little disappointed in myself. My plan for you guys was I was going to get a nice, like, maple syrup bottle. And I was going to empty it out because I have a big thing of maple syrup in the fridge right now. So I have room to empty it into there. I was going to empty it out and brew some tea in there, so make it look like I was drinking maple syrup throughout the run, but it didn't pan out. Didn't pan out in time.
Honestly, that would have been a really great meme.
Riddle says,
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
is Jonah's fault.
Yeah, it was a thought I had. I'm just like, the store that's closest to my apartment just had like regular style bottles. I'm like, I could have went for that, but like I wanted to go for one of the nice fancy like maple shaped ones.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up buying one.
If we find it, how do we know we
I should have just got a regular bottle. It still would have sold it.
gut feeling? It's our only clue. The mural says there'll be more disasters. The best way we can help them is to put a stop to it and Trinity.
Okay.
They're having their little discussion about everything after. I love how Lara tells him that like she knows because of a gut feeling, and then they discuss a bit further, and Jonah's like, but how do we really know? And then Lara basically just says the exact same thing, but with more words. She's pretty much just saying it's still gut feeling right now. It's like what I felt when I took the dagger. It's like, well, you're basically just saying gut feeling again.
We have to trust each other. I still think the lighting looks really weird, like her eyes look really bright for some reason.
Hey, I might have something over here.
I've never got that from this.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just weird then, eh?
And look at you getting into the Canadian spirit with that A.
I say it all the time, though.
I guess a little turbulence wouldn't stop Trinity either.
Hilariously enough, I very rarely used A in my lexicon until when I was in grade 5. I think we moved to Minnesota for a few years, and it like doubled the amount that I would say A. I don't know what it was about moving to the US that made me say A more than when I actually was growing up. in Canada.
Bye, Miguel.
Miguel's fine. Like, actually, like, he
100%.
survives this crash somehow.
Yeah, for real though.
What are you doing?
Don't ask me how. Unconscious, got pelted in the head by a giant piece of hail. He survives the crash somehow.
Thanks for the parachutes, Jonah.
Northern Minnesota definitely is quite close. Although we were only 10 minutes south of the Canadian border where we were living in Minnesota, and just the culture shock was wild. Only being 10 minutes over the border, it was night and day. In terms of, like, some of the interests, you know, like hockey and the climate, of course, and some of the accent being similar, the rest of the culture around was quite different.
Hello? Anyone? Where are they? I have to find them.
All right, so we are back from the beginning of the game, that little crash we had.
I'm getting closer.
So now we are in the main areas of the game. We are in
I
Peru.
have to get to them.
Dr. Dominguez is here in Peru. Is that good enough for you?
Hey, that's not in this run.
If you believe hard enough it is.
I don't understand this glitchless speak. We're doing no major glitches today.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot. My bad.
All right, so up to this point, this run has been pretty much identical to glitchless. Not much different. In fact, not different at all. This is where it starts to become slightly different, just because we'll make a bit of different decisions with some skill purchases, and actually I kind of rerouted my glitchless to pretty much do the same skills. But we're starting to gear up for the changes at this point. So here's our second forced eel encounter. Where I conveniently can rip off a piece of the plane's propeller that happens to just perfectly be knife-shaped. Which we'll use to pry open some salvage boxes here. However, it was sharp enough to stab an eel, but not sharp enough to cut a rope. So we need one more thing of salvage. Conveniently, we already picked up two, so we only need...
Well, how strong is eel skin, do you know?
I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. So now that we have our salvage, we can upgrade our knife and magically sharpen it.
I should have listened to Jonah.
And we're going to make a few skill purchases here. So we're going to grab Raposa's Drop, which is going to change our movement tech a bit, Cayman's Speed, which allows us to swim faster, and Owl's Meal, which allows us to harvest bugs for some poison. And there we go.
Oh my gosh. Stupid cutscene.
So now we can have a knife that's sharp enough to cut these boxes. So now you'll notice I'm rolling out of every jump forward I take. It's going to allow us to move a little bit quicker. It's actually faster than her sprint speed. So I will really only use her sprint to set myself up for jumps. But any other movement, we will be doing jumps and rolls. Yeah, the knife facing out of her hand, they're just floating for a moment, happens every time when you skip that cutscene. It's amazing. So, in a cutscene we skipped, we talked to Miguel briefly. Here he, as I've mentioned in a previous run, has spilled all his ketchup, and I'm sure he's fine. We skipped a cutscene. I'm sure Miguel's fine still. Totally had nothing happen with these Jaguars.
Totally.
Not
Not
at
missing
all.
any body parts.
No.
Perfectly fine. Just taking a nap.
Yeah. 100%. But now we're gonna go play with the kitty. So this fight is pretty straightforward. We're going to get the cat to swipe at us and then do a set amount of damage. Where's the feathers there? Which is generally going to be about 3 arrows. So each time it comes in, all we need is a swipe like that, do a couple shots, and then I'll run away back out of the arena, which gives us some time to harvest a few resources until it comes back into the arena. And we repeat that a few times until a second Jaguar enters the fight, which will trigger a little QT sequence to end this section.
Do you ever just stand where it's gonna like come out from, or do you not know where it's gonna be?
Well, the second one, like, there's 3 different spawn points for the arena.
Yeah,
Like
wherever the one that's pacing right now comes out, the other one's gonna come on the opposite side. At least for me.
Yeah, I've tried to pick up prediction, and when I've come up with something like that seems to work, then I just have it not happen in a run. So I kind of just hold tight in that one area and then just move toward it whenever it does spawn in.
Jonah's dead.
Alright, so now we found the rest of the plane wreckage. And... Hey, Jonah! He's behind us, but I swear he's here.
We can get through here.
There he is.
Give me a hand. I think we can see the village.
And he ended up with a parasite in his arm that we cut out during the cutscene for him. And he named it after his cousin Eli. Which is why his arm's all bandaged up. Because his cousin was always trying to get under his skin. Good joke, Jonah.
Haha, haha, very funny.
I'm glad you stayed at the crash site.
Well, if you were out there, I wanted to
Oh, bad roll.
Add a flag. You sure this is a path?
Don't say it about the
Stay close to me.
rolls. Don't be mean
This
to
is
them.
definitely not a path.
I wanted to get the sound glitch. If you land far enough forward here, before starting this scoot along this edge,
Almost there.
you end up getting a bit of a sound glitch where the sound effect of Lara's steps gets doubled. And we like to joke that she has 4 feet because at the beginning of the 2013 game, there's a spot where when you first get control of Lara, she's hanging upside down and you have to swing her back and forth to burn
You're all right.
her,
I'm okay.
like what's binding her so she can drop. She ends up spawning a second pair of feet during that. So Lara's got 4 feet.
They knew a lot.
All right.
By the way, yes, this is a skip that's coming up, sorry, but it's gonna be really bright. So, because the lighting messes up, so just to let you know, it's gonna get really bright really soon.
I jumped way too wide there. Wow, Jay. All right. Yes, we got our first little out of bounds of the game. So normally we're supposed to do a whole puzzle here with the water and a bucket. But, all right. Get on the collision, please.
Just called childhood skip.
But instead, we are going to just jump out of bounds. Yes, that's right. We're already out of bounds. Just like that.
Yeah, and when she gets in the water, be ready. Be ready.
So flashbang.
And it might come back if doesn't.
Yeah,
get
there's
it
a
again.
chance that I'm going to have to do the rest of this skip with the lighting like this, depending on how we exit this area. Okay, we're fine. We hit the lighting
Nice.
trigger, we're fine. But yeah, there's a chance that I will have to do this like almost blind for the rest of the skip if you miss the lighting trigger coming out.
It's so fun
Yeah.
to not be able to see anything.
Yeah. Already can't see anything because of a bunch of vegetation. And then on top of it, everything's just pure white.
Let's make it worse.
All right, so right now, this hasn't really saved us too much time over... Why are we not dropping? There we go.
What?
Hasn't saved us too much time over what was actually intended. But I did not get a good scramble there. AKA, I didn't scramble at all. And then she ate the jump.
Laura, please.
There we go. So, normally we solve the puzzle and then we go across, which is actually like right to our left right now. We would enter a little area to fight the other jaguar that we didn't end up killing from the previous kitty fight, because there was two there. We only ended up killing one, and the other one took its mate and ran away. But we end up encountering the second one here. But this is going to allow us to skip that fight, which also, once you finish that fight, it takes you into the childhood flashback chapter where we play as a little young baby Lara. But because of this skip, we are in the arena where we normally fight the jaguar. And because we didn't do the fight and it didn't trip a cutscene immediately, we can just leave the arena early and just be on our way and skip an entire
Jonah's
chapter.
not here either.
Yeah. You'll notice Lara's kind of waiting. Yeah, Jonah's supposed to normally be here helping her lift that log and coming out with her. And she's going to nod to Jonah, who's not there.
She's seeing things.
But yeah, we just skipped an entire chapter of the game right there. And we also got a few side effects from that skip that's going to allow us to save a little bit more time coming up here, because once we jump over here and get down this hill, there's normally supposed to be a few of the Trinity soldiers here with a truck and that. The truck's actually still here, so I'm going to go straight. And yeah, the truck is actually still there. The collision still exists for the truck, but it hasn't properly visually loaded
Magic
in,
bug.
nor have the enemies. So we can just go to the side of the truck and be on our merry way. And then there would be a tutorial here for fire arrows to burn down a barrier, but that hasn't loaded in either. So we can just run straight through here. And if you watch to my right... Hi, Jonah. Jonah's just gonna pop in.
Hi, Jonah.
I see people down there.
Hope they're friendly.
I'll let you do the talking.
It tried to skip the cutscene before it actually started.
¿Quiere negociar?
Huh.
Hola.
So now we are in Kowakiaku, which is where the pilot Miguel was going to try to put us down before he took a large chunk of hail to the face. So normally in Glitchless, you've seen the runs before, we would have went straight through that little temple market there and went up to a temple. And after that, we would go through a little bit of a combat section, go through an underground area with a puzzle, go through a long swimming section after that, and then come up to our left eventually. So 2 chapters worth of gameplay. We are going to skip both of those chapters. They're short chapters, but still, 2 chapters worth of gameplay. We are going to skip those chapters and just jump up here. And we are going to get toward a little bit of a load trigger at the end of the second of those chapters to trigger the game's progression. That was pretty clean for Living Dead, Skip.
I was gonna say very nice, very nice.
So right there, we hit the trigger. Now the game thinks that we completed both of those chapters.
God, bodies everywhere. The creatures kill them. But why?
Jonah,
I didn't notice, but she just moves the body with her feet.
Trinity is being hunted by some.
Never noticed that. She just scooted across the floor like it was nothing.
Hissing sounds and moves so fast.
I mean, can't you just, like, slide 200 pounds of dead weight around with your feet?
No, not really. I mean, she can also break a pot, too. Should have known.
We're downstairs.
But yeah, as you can see, all these
Strong
skips
legs.
are just jumping off of regular
Hey,
environmental things.
we were waiting for you.
Nothing too wild.
The mural showed a series of trials.
And the nice thing about this category, too, is it can be done on current patch. So unlike the regular 80% with all the airwalks and that, where you have to down patch the game,
You on the other side.
yeah, we can skip large chunks of the game on current patch like this.
Go through the wall. Go through the wall.
Still has only happened the once. Yeah, there's one time I was
loser.
doing a run of this game, and for some reason, Lara just teleported way to the right instead of going through the crawl hole like this. Like, the animation still played out normally, but her body just, like, shifted way off to the right, and she was going through the rocks themselves. So here we reloaded a checkpoint. It's going to give her full breath back and also ensure that there's 2 eels in this area are in the exact same spot every time, so we can easily swim past them and avoid them. Like I said, we don't have to contend with any more eels, because we can just avoid them for the rest of the game.
Meh. Spider trail.
Yeah, this is Kira's favorite skip of the run.
Yay! I'm getting a little bit better at it, but she picks favorites. I swear, I'm not even lying. Such a loser.
But normally there's a big path behind us that we're supposed to go around. It takes about 20 seconds to jump to an overhang, and then you swing to get to this ledge. Yeah, we can just jump straight for that ledge, pretty much. It's a little bit more to it than just jumping straight for it, but yeah, we can attach to the ledge from there.
Jonah, I'm at the next
You
trial.
can attach to the ledge.
I'm still tracking west. Heading downward now. There's an underground river.
So there is technically a skip to skip the entirety of the trial here. However, we have several skips in the trial itself that cumulatively save about 1.5 minutes, almost 2 minutes. So to do the out of bounds here, it is precarious as hell. You can barely see where you're going. And if you successfully pull it off on your first attempt, it saves like a minute versus just doing the trial to begin with. So we just do the trial because, well, who wants to lose a run this far in over a skip that only if you get it on the first try, it's going to save you time?
Not worth it.
And that's if you get it on the first try with good movement. Like if you
If
get
you can
a
even
little
get there in the
stuck,
first place.
if you get a little stuck or lost along the way, you're not even really saving time. So,
Magnificent.
It's useless. Disgusting.
So yeah, we're just gonna do the trial. Plus, this trial's pretty awesome.
True,
I gotta
true.
say. Anyone who's familiar with the games might remember a section toward the end of Rise called the Honourary, which was, you know, kind of like this. It had a bunch of spinning, moving parts that you had to climb, and that really cool concept, but frustrating as hell to navigate. It was not fun to actually play through it. Whereas
Not
the Eagle
not a
Trial,
speedrun either.
yeah, whereas the Eagle Trial's actually well designed. It's like they decided, like, that was a cool concept. Let's actually do it properly this time.
Exactly.
So yeah, normally we have a bunch more climbing to do here to get to the top, but we got one of Kira's finds right here where we can just skip and throw a little too early and die. Luckily, the checkpoint's right here, so failing that...
Both of the finds were an accident, though, because he found the... whatchamacallit that I can't English anymore.
Why'd she let go on that? What?
Laura needs a good smacking.
Lara, please.
We love you, Laura. Be nice.
There we go.
I'll give you a cookie.
That's what we want.
That was so scary, though. She could have, like, let go with that thing there.
Yeah, I jumped a little early on that one. I actually did jump a little early on that one. That one actually would have made more sense for her to let go on than the previous one.
Yeah, for real.
Like, honestly.
Like...
But yeah, that skip saves, like, the last little bit of climbing, which is a little over a minute of climbing, so...
Jonah, I'm past the Eagle Trial. I must be closing in on the Hidden City.
But yeah, we both found skips for this in this trial. The first one we did toward the bottom there was my find, and both of them were completely accidental, just going for something else and just happened to have the grapple attached to something, and it's like, oh, okay, guess that's a thing. Apparently I can hit that. That's not sideways, Lara. Thank you.
If you believe hard enough, it is.
There's a little bit of input lag with platforming in these games, where if you try to jump too soon after changing your directional input, the game will still assume you were meaning to do the previous directional input, which is why you sometimes get jumps up when you want to go sideways. Any of you who have played this game casually may have had some frustrating moments climbing. That would be why. So you'll notice more often than not, if I do need to do a jump sideways in that, I'll wait for Lara to actually make a slight bit of sideways climbing movement before actually entering the jump input, just to avoid that input lag of her jumping the wrong direction. I just failed to do so there.
Got 2 more cap.
This, though it looks wild, is actually pretty straightforward. Like, I can spam for each of those jumps as soon as she starts to swing through. And as soon as she's swung through enough, I don't know why she went under there, she'll just go for the jump and make it. Like,
You wanted to see the fishies.
it doesn't need any wild timing or anything like that. It's like one of those sections where it looks like, oh, in speedruns, that must be really hard. You gotta time that and you could die so easily. It's like, nah. you just go for it and it works.
Jonah, I
Have you got the camera break there ever?
I'm gonna look for the serpent
Possibly.
with the silver eye.
You throw it and then she goes back and then you see her eyeballs as she falls to her death.
Nice jump. Come on, Lara.
Good job, Laura. Gold star.
right, so another little skip there. This
Oh my
one's
goodness gracious.
a nice
Sorry.
RTA jump. We're good.
You look
we're
so
good.
close to the stairs, it scared me.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. So normally you're supposed to go up the stairs and it triggers a cutscene with Etzli, who is tied up there. It's a unskippable cutscene. Well, you can skip the first little bit of it and then the rest of it's unskippable. And you can only skip the first part of it after watching it for 25 seconds or so. So yeah. It's about 4 minutes of time save in total there by just going up to the side like I did there, jumping off of a route and over top of the cutscene trigger. We don't have to watch that cutscene. Which also allows us to get into this area wearing our regular outfits still, which normally this area is outfit restricted.
What?
He's been here for years.
All right, little,
Good for photos.
yeah, little reload checkpoint here is going to skip the rest of that conversation, and we're just going to take a little detour from the actual speedrun to say hi to this llama.
The llama! Llama Lara.
Llama!
It's a
Yeah.
crime that we can't play as Llama Lara.
It is. So in the photo mode in this game, you can actually change Lara's character model to a llama and take pictures as a llama. But as well, there are, I think, like 7 petable llamas in the town here.
She's settling.
So why not say hi to one of them?
Isn't it like a little, not trophy, but quest in this area to pet all the llamas?
It is a trophy, actually, I'm pretty sure.
What? I'm looking at it. Hold up.
If I recall correctly, it is an achievement. To pet 5 of them, I think, is the achievement. But there's more than 5 in the town.
Because I thought it was just, a fun little thing that they do.
No, I'm pretty sure there's an achievement for it. I mean,
Oh my God,
it's
Bo.
been how many years since I did all the achievement hunting in this game, so my memory might be a
right?
little
Like-
off.
I mean, I don't remember either.
The smell. This must be the place Etzli mentioned.
Is that a category? I wish.
Yeah, for real. We were talking about that yesterday.
Steady, Lara, steady.
Llama percent would be a great run. All right. So a little skip here. Church, you remember how this skip went for
It
me last
is.
time?
I do. I do.
So we're just not going to talk about it.
Yeah, nope.
Let's just say that though that skip isn't hard to pull off, I'm a little nervous right now. And we're going to leave it at that.
It's okay, it's okay. You got this.
Okay.
Don't worry.
take it slow.
It is a trophy, by the way. You were right.
It is a trophy? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is actually, with all the out-of-bounds skips we do, if it wasn't for the need to have the overhang climbing gear, the crampons she gets in a certain chapter of the game, that allows us to progress and finish the game. If we didn't need those to finish the game, we would actually be able to skip like this entire part of the game as well. We would actually be able to skip like almost the entire middle section of the game.
He just has to have it.
But
What a loser.
yeah, there ends up being some overhangs toward the end of the game that we have to climb on, and without airwalks, there's no way to progress and finish the game without having that gear. Because after these next couple chapters, the skip we're going to do would take us straight to the end of the PyTT portions, well, the main PyTT portions of the game. So, and we are able to go and access that area and perform that skip right now. Just, yeah. Without the gear, we would end up getting progression blocked.
The smell keeps getting stronger.
Clara, how's it going?
I found another serpent with a silver eye. It must be getting close. You?
Talking tattoos with Uchu.
Tattoos?
Yeah, you saw Uno Rogers, right? It has a hair and clips on it. That might have something to do with the silver box.
I don't think so. Is this some kind of bloodletting chamber?
All right, fortunately for us, all puzzles in the game have set starting positions, so we don't need to actually like take a look or worry about any RNG here. We know we can turn that one once counterclockwise and then turn this twice either direction, because it'll end up in the same endpoint after 2 positions, after attaching the 2 of them to make the channels line up. And then we pull this, and I do see an autosave, so hopefully we see oil! No soft lock this time!
Hey! Yay!
So, the reason I was nervous, the skip I did entering this area, not too hard to pull off. I mean, you can fail it, but it's not a super difficult skip by any means. However, doing that avoids a loading trigger, which also affects all of the checkpoints throughout this entire section. So the entire time I was proceeding through that area of the game, no checkpoints were working. So if I had died at any point, we would have went all the way back to the beginning of the area. And there's also a small chance with doing that skip that you'll get a soft lock where you pull the lever to fill the basin with oil. The sound effects will play, but it won't actually fill with oil, and you can't burn down the barrier to proceed. Which, being at the end of the area, means the only way to proceed is to restart checkpoint, which, since you have had 0 checkpoints work, puts you all the way back to the beginning of the area. So last time we ran this, doing glitchless, we lost, I think it's like 3.5 minutes to that section because we got the soft lock.
Also, the death loop does not work with no major glitches.
Yeah, you were mentioning that the other night.
It makes me sad. I think it's because the guys turn around too late. Which I don't know why, but whatever.
And we are messing with
You know what?
the game's
You're right.
expecting.
That's probably why. It was really funny. Last night, I threw her grapple and it got stuck in the mountain, so you could just see it over there in the cutscene.
Really?
Yeah, you could see the rope.
Amazing.
Before we get any further into the action, do you want to take the break now, or?
If we finish the next chapter, we get to an unskippable cutscene, that could be a good spot. That's where I had initially been thinking, but I could definitely hit it now.
Thanks.
That's
Up to you.
still about 10 to 15 minutes away.
Here it is.
How long is the unskippable cutscene?
The unskippable cutscene is 3 minutes. I mean, I would still pause the game.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, we can wait for that. No worries.
I just figured it's a nice built-in defined like stop in the game progression to begin with.
That works for me, no problem.
Sounds
I'm
good.
in.
Unuratu just left with Hakan. She'll be ready when you open the gate.
All right, so with this category, we have not picked up the same gear that we normally do. One guy got in the way of the other guy. So normally in glitchless, I pick up the suppressor for the pistol. Thanks for that animation, Lara. Which would allow me to shoot and distract this one guy a little early so I could move earlier. But in this category, we're just going to wait for him to walk a bit further up to avoid detection. But the rest of the strat's pretty much the same. Instead of using the pistol to shoot in the ground, we're going to use the bow, which should distract the guy on the stairs just enough that we can slip past him and leave this area. There are a few encounters in the game that are like that, where you can just, if you avoid detection, you can just leave. If you get detected, you have to defeat all the enemies to be able to leave the area.
Or you can just reset checkpoint if you really wanted to.
Oh yeah, or you can reset checkpoint, but in terms of like, say you were approaching the game from a casual perspective, you could stealth through and just leave certain sections, so long as you know, avoid detection. Which is handy for the speedrun, because there's, I want to say like 9 enemies in that area, several of which are wearing helmets.
I think they're all wearing helmets.
So we just did another little skip there, just a little bit of platforming. And I even didn't play it safe and hit the checkpoint, so had I fallen, we would have went back just a little bit.
I'm always gonna hit it. I don't trust her. She's too dumb.
I mean, fair. The checkpoint is... So where I jumped for the crazy swing that she did there, if you go climb down the wall just like 6 inches, you hit a checkpoint. As soon as she attaches with her axes to the wall under the handhold, there's a checkpoint. But
Also, fun fact, fast travel is broken.
Yeah, with all the skips we've done, we cannot fast travel. There was... When the category first came up, we were looking at some potential options with the routing with fast travel. And we figured out that, no, we need to pretty much just go through this section very vanilla, because fast travel is completely disabled until we catch back up to where the game thinks we should be. Might have something to do with the outfit restriction, I'm not sure. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it,
yeah.
I never thought about that before until this very second, but it's probably something to do with the outfit restriction, because when we do get fast travel back is at the end of this entire chapter, where we end up being forced back into what the outfit we're supposed to be wearing.
Wow. It's that important, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it could be just coincidental, but...
I mean, you're probably right.
All right, let's see. Can I get the pot? Yeah, screw that pot. I always like to try and smash that pot coming through here.
It did nothing to you.
It existed.
How dare you?
It's just a satisfying sound. What can I say?
You know, you're not wrong. Do the skip, do the skip, do the...
Hey, when I ran this for Lara's birthday, I did that skip and hit it first try. So...
That is true.
We've shown off that skip. There is a skip that would get me past that little... we wouldn't have to do the squeeze through we just did there. It's only about a 15-second time save, but it would basically get us to... right here. We could have jumped straight for that spot, and we would have had to climb up our rope because she would have attached the grapple line to there. But yeah, there was a skip to avoid squeezing through there and doing that one jump. But yeah, it's only about a 15-second time save, and the checkpoint for it's actually really bad if you do fail it, which it's not an easy skip to pull off by any means.
Yeah. Maybe I should start aiming so the prompt will actually function properly.
Yeah, I try to do that just to make her. Let's actually use the correct button.
No, that's not fun.
Yeah, I always aim there now to try and make sure she like plants her feet in position and stays nicely in front of the rope to hopefully get that prompt to work. The prompt for the rope that we cut down the guy to get the shotgun there is really finicky. You move even slightly, the prompt will disappear, and that button's the same as her melee charge animation. So if you try to cut the rope and the prompt disappears on you, she just does a long melee charge animation instead. And then you have to reposition her to try and get the rope again. But, oh my god, jump scare. Scary enemy.
Oh my god.
Terrifying.
Help.
Anyway.
I'm scared. Save me.
So scary. This is one of my favorite fights of the entire run. It's got nice flow to it. The enemy spawns are fairly consistent. So we can just have a nice little rhythm to the fight.
Did her... You know what? I'm gonna pretend I didn't see it.
You're late. What the hell?
What?
Yeah, that guy was really late. Oh, I hit the barrel. That means I'm gonna have to kill the last guy a little slower. Not a big deal.
Remember when one was flying in the air for me for no reason?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of
floating
had
there?
that. I kind of had that the other night with the
You
distillery
did
fight.
with the
Yeah.
Trinity soldier. I also had the Yak shield get stuck in a wall back there when you're supposed to, the one that you hit and flies off. Yeah, got stuck in the wall.
Nice. Isn't that one of the best things about speedrunning games, though? Just how much you get to see the game break, even when you're not trying to break it.
Exactly. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Huh? See? Disgusting. Gross run.
We were over this. We're not going to talk about Rise.
True.
Lara, can you not get stuck on the environment, please?
It just hurt my soul so much.
Now, that's what you get for grinding that game.
You know, yeah, you're not wrong. And I'm going back too, because I'm crazy.
Yeah, you are.
Look, I almost got a PB, okay? So it'll happen again, I promise.
Yeah, the glitchless run for Rise of the Tomb Raider is a little painful. That game performs a little on the jank side mechanically. Which is nice for, glitched runs, but not so much when you're performing glitchless. So nice little skip there. Lets us avoid having to go into the water and swim all the way around to get to this area, which also would spawn in a few extra enemies that we would have to deal with. So we can just drop down to that ledge there and be on our way without all of that. It's about a 20-25 second save. And yes, I'm doing this in what looks like a really weird specific order by going middle, top, bottom, but it's just my personal preference. There's really no benefit to doing them in any particular order. And hopefully I can make first cycle on the turn here. Looks like I'm okay.
Ooh, that was close.
So I got two of these little water puzzles, which are pretty simple. This one confuses a lot of people casually because they don't end up realizing that you need to fill the basin with water to be able to interact with the debris down below to free the second one. So we're gonna put our arrow in place for the second one because there are going to be a bunch of enemies that are going to spawn when we get back up here. We will deal with the first couple so that we can start turning it, and we will be able to turn it into place before the rest of the enemies are able to reach Lara, which also is going to trigger our cutscene for our break. So if we could get ready on the pause, it's going to be right as soon as the water starts turning the wheel here. Now.
Awesome. Yeah, so during these longer speedruns, we like to take breaks so everyone can get up, stretch, get some water, anything they need to do like that. Just before we go to a break, a quick reminder. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and Bitch Cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support the Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you like watching our daily content, these speedruns, these showcases, any of our regular content, it really does help us put on this content. So any support you can give is greatly appreciated. With that said, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with the rest of the run. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. We are in the middle of a Shadow of the Tomb Raider run, and whenever you're ready, you can get right back into it. If you just want to give like a 3, 2, 1 when you're ready.
All right, let's get back to it. In 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, we do have a bit of an unskippable cutscene here. So, we get a bit of an extended break. So anyone who's, a little slow in coming back, you're not going to miss too much other than a little bit of lore and probably one of the best character models in any game ever. In my personal opinion, at least.
She's pretty cool.
I mean, honestly, how could you not love her?
For real.
She's so awesome. Just too cool.
Oh my. Choke on my water.
So here we find out a bit more about what the dagger is all pertaining to. The dagger is supposed to go into the silver box of Ishel to basically stop the apocalypse and reset the cycle and reset the world, basically. And
Yashiel, goddesses of
it
protection.
These creatures, the Yashiel, basically protect it, which is why they're all in this area, because the box had been in this area. Oops. Spoiler about a minute early. I'm sorry.
Neither false gods nor zealots should be allowed to pass.
But Lara discovers through the murals and script here that they're protecting the box, waiting for who's supposed to be resetting everything.
It has to be here.
But as Lara's about to find out, centuries ago, a missionary took the box. Didn't have the dagger, but he took the box from this location.
Oh my god.
Where's the box?
Which ends up, in typical Lara fashion, creating more destruction when she touches this.
Yay!
And they're obviously going to think that she did something with it. And oh, she pretty angry about it. She not happy.
Run, Lara, run!
So now we have to just flee the area.
When that jumps for her legs is so funny to me.
I know, right?
It just looks funny.
Oh, I forgot to do the roll there. Yeah, she always shorts that wall scramble if you don't either run forward or roll forward into the jump.
Or all those the same model?
Sorry?
It looked like all of them were the same model back there, not different ones.
Oh, I might just be a little focused on where I'm going. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's kind of more important. Don't want to get smacked around by some Yakshiel.
Yeah, especially because right at that last jump, you'll make the jump, but then it'll trigger a death scene if you get too close to one of the Yakshiel throughout the run, or if you roll too much throughout the run. Yeah, it's a little weird, so kind of am a little careful with the movement throughout that section. Not only are there the spots where you could obviously jump and fall to your death, and you're getting shot at, but
Yeah, I'm not.
There's a little bit of a strange, like, bug that can happen there because there's no way that's intended.
You don't know that? Could be.
Yeah, the devs are just like, we don't like how you ran through that section, so you have to die at the end.
How dare you? You went too fast. You die now.
Perfectly scripted in. Could you imagine?
Oh my god.
All right, so here's where we get that overhang climbing gear that I had been talking about. So that's why we had to go through all of this. Otherwise, these last few chapters we just went through since the last, since the Etzley skip to first enter the town, everything we've done since then has been purely for this right now. There we go. New gear.
Yay!
Just don't bump the wall. If she bumps the wall, she has a tendency to let go of the rope, so. And I saw a comment there about the jumping into the water. Jumping into the water the majority of the time, like just feet first, is going to be faster because you're able to get control and have forward momentum out of Lara immediately. Whereas if you do the swan dive, there's a long animation of her breaking the surface and going down into the water before you can get any forward input. And I do apologize for if my mic is picking up the plumbing. The plumbing in this building is really bad, so sometimes it makes noises through the wall behind me.
I was wondering what that was. It kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, did something break on my end, please?
Yes.
Please no.
So-
Exit skip. Exit skip.
Oh, come on, that one should be good. We'll try this a few times and then we'll just... If she doesn't want to cooperate, we'll just do the intended, but this does save about 30 seconds of climbing above us. There we go. Second try is not bad.
Nice.
That was another accidental find.
Did you reload your pistol?
Yeah, as far as I know, I reloaded the pistol. It was in my hand when I hit the crank, and that should reload it, so... We will soon find out. I always try to keep the pistol in my hand in the previous area before that unskippable cutscene we had, because if it's not reloaded, you can't pick up that beetle. Lara will, of course, because it's the same button, reload the pistol first, but even after she reloads it, for whatever reason, the prompt on the beetle just will not work for like a good 5 to 10 seconds after the fact. No idea why that's a thing, but yeah, you need to have a fully loaded gun in hand to be able to pick up that beetle quickly. Alright, so now we return to Paititi.
You ready?
I'm... maybe.
It's okay. You got it. I believe in you.
Alright, so now, because we're entering Paititi through normal means, the game's actually going to force us to have the outfit change to the restricted outfit that we're supposed to be wearing in town. Unlike the first time we came into town where we skipped a cutscene to get in here. And normally right now we're supposed to go back to Naratu's. We find out she's moved to a cave, and we go and get another different outfit from her to get into the temple here, but we can just go straight to the temple and avoid having to slow walk through it, avoid having to go to her thing by jumping here. So this part of the skip used to be in the glitchless category for a little bit before we did the category split. Can you get up there? Thank you. So this part, not too bad. This skip, once you learn it, pretty simple. Afterwards, we've got definitely the hardest skip in the
Oh
round.
boy. I call it Demon from Hell skip. So there's that. That gives you any
Yeah.
hints on how it is.
The normal community name for it is Sacrifice Skip, as it skips the entire slow walk and sacrifice scene that happens. So we're going to hit this fire, which is going to give us a checkpoint. Because if I do fail the skip, we would go all the way back to where we first entered the town if I didn't hit that fire. So hitting that fire gives us a nice closer checkpoint should we fail anywhere. And hey chat, wish me luck.
Okie
And
dokie.
also tell me your favorite thing about Canada. Because we're gonna fight with Lara for a little bit here.
Now you got it.
So the reason this skip is so difficult is, first off this wall, we've only got a small little area where she can actually do this wall scramble animation. Then we have to precariously land on the top here without overshooting. Try to get a footing on that piece of wood that she refused to get a footing on there.
Slip and slide, of course.
Get another wall scramble and try to get her enough height to get up here. But we're not done. And Lara just isn't going to face direction for me. We need to scramble jump off that piece of wood. Which, again, very small surface area to land on. As well as you have to change direction right at the end of that jump. Jump across here. And then scramble jump and close that gap. Drop down here without falling to the sides because there's just an endless abyss behind you. And wow, we actually got a clean sacrifice skip.
Nice.
And hit
Good
the
job.
scene at the end.
Yeah, I didn't want to. We don't celebrate until it's over. Because, many things can go wrong.
All right, now we got an unskippable cutscene, so what did we get
Now
here?
we can celebrate.
What did we get? We got Putin, maple syrup. I mean, maple syrup's good. Another Putin, basic human rights. I mean, we try. I think we get a little bit too much credit for where we're at for that, just given, our neighbors with those subjects sometimes, but we try.
There's only so much we can do when we're adjacent.
Yeah, and have a very similar history to how the country started.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Say sorry. Yeah, we do say sorry a lot. All dressed chips. Banff is gorgeous. I lived in Calgary for about 16, 17 years, and having Banff in the mountains there, just a single short little day trip drive away. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. The Quebecois.
She was a warrior.
Monopoly money. Honestly, I miss our old bills. What we had in circulation in like the 90s and that before the polymer bills.
Find the box.
Those were my favorite.
Get to it first.
We had what? The Snowy Owl on the back of the 50. We had
Live on.
Loon on the back of the 20. Kingfisher on the back of the 5. Osprey on the back of the 10.
We will prepare for battle. The rebellion must succeed.
We'll be back with the box.
You lied, by the way.
We will be ready when you return.
She's not back with the box.
So yeah. So Etzli's mum, Unuratu, died in the stuff we just skipped.
Regroup and take
So that's what we were going through with that cutscene was
How did you know?
breaking the news there.
I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't see it.
If you scratch it, it smells of maple. It's a myth that's also true.
all that.
It doesn't actually intentionally have that. Like, that's not something that the mint does with the bills. But there is like this oddly sweet chemical smell to a fresh polymer bill that does kind of smell vaguely like maple. So it's like, yes, it does have an odor that people think is maple, but it's not actually like maple scented or intentional by any means.
What is that?
And that's only true since the polymer bills came out. The old paper bills never had that.
Uh-oh. Constantine's back.
Yeah, Lara has a very sordid history with helicopters.
Trinity loves helicopters. It's ridiculous. We have way too many.
There's a helicopter crash in the middle of 2013. There's a whole helicopter boss fight that we're just not going to talk about how bad it is at the end of Rise. And then there's a couple little helicopter bits in this game. All right, so here we got a whole stealth section.
Very well made, by the way.
Very well made. When you play this game casually, this is an example of forced stealth done well. One of the rare examples in a game where forced stealth is actually well designed and fun to engage in. But in speedruns, we can kind of just, skip past all these enemies. We don't actually have to do this. And the reason it's forced stealth is from the crash there, all of Lara's weapons are gone. So right now, all she has is a knife and the ability to conceal herself a little bit with mud and craft smoke bombs and that.
We got hit by a foreshock. Kappa team. All clear, sir.
I'm hoping for radio glitch here.
This is Cardinal 2. I've got foreshock damage in Juliet 3. The rock slide took out the tertiary pumping platform. No fire.
However, given all the maple talk, little fun fact about Canada, one of the biggest crimes that has ever existed in our country is a maple syrup heist.
I suspected you've been monitoring
What?
vacations.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
What?
They're one of the main producers of maple syrup in the country was had a team that was stealing the maple syrup to ship it to, I think, these states. And it ended up being, like $25 million worth or something
Yeah.
over the time that they were doing it.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was absurd.
What the hell? I mean, I've been wanting to say it too. Like, maple syrup is way too strong for me.
People use the goggles. Find her.
I wish it wasn't, but I just can't take it.
It is a strong flavor. It is. I will give you that. It is quite sweet and very strong flavor.
I can't take that much sweet.
Completely blocking the heat she gives off. I'll see her. As if looking for something in the dark, and these ruins wasn't creepy enough.
That's so funny though. Like, what? Oh my god.
Alright, so little stealthy explosion there. Yes, explosions can be stealth. If no one sees you, it's stealth. That's all that means.
Exactly.
That's all it is. Nice eating the input, Lara. Alright, let's try that
Good
again.
job, Lara.
Shall we? Roll out of the drop. Thank you.
This is so stupid.
Alright, so now we have another little skip here. We call this monkey skip.
Monkey skip.
If things go well, you're not going to get to really see why it's called monkey skip, but there is
I hope
a
it goes well.
there is a howler monkey that would have been just above me at that last little spot we were. But yeah, that's how easy it was to get out of bounds. All I did was scramble and jump toward a wall, and I clipped through the invisible wall. And
It's really funny, honestly, how easy it is to get out of bounds here.
And now we're just going to try to navigate when we can barely see where we are.
Fun times.
And skip another little bit of a stealth combat encounter. Although
Why did she do that? Okay, whatever, anyway.
we do have a
Freak.
bow now, and we do have arrows, fear arrows that make enemies hallucinate and start attacking their allies before they die. But we don't need to use all that because we can just, skip through this entire area on the perimeter out of bounds.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, get a
Fine.
footing. Get a footing. Get a footing, Lara.
No chicken, Lara, come on.
This is one of the worst spots of this skip because
Lara's
it sometimes takes a while to get a footing here to jump.
Do you
And
think
I
you can
can't.
jump back?
There we go. I can't go too much to either side because
Ooh,
of that.
nice. Woo!
Because of that. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Yeah, so now we get to see why we call it monkey skip, because, hey, look, we got a little friend above us. And he just
We should
chills
name
there.
him.
He just chills there. Dude. Just went a little too far left there.
You should do toxic skip instead.
Yeah, there's an alternate way to do this where we'd actually be below the map where we are currently, and there's a really difficult jump to make in the middle of it. Like, insanely difficult jump to
Yeah,
make
it's ridiculous.
over
You
an
can't
abyss.
see her at all. She's invisible, so it makes it even
Yeah,
harder.
on top of it, Lara's character model disappears right before you get to the jump, so you can't even see exactly where you are, and you just have to blindly make this jump over this large gap onto a surface that's higher than your starting point. Really rough. There we go. Much better line there.
Good job, Lara. Gold star. Don't go soft blocking now.
Yeah, let's go up on this catwalk instead.
Oh yeah. Ruin
So-
the whole run.
If you drop into this area too early after doing the skip and try to approach this encounter, it soft locks the game and you are permanently soft locked on that save file.
Yep. All over.
It's run over. We would not be able to progress at all. You did not take your normal line, pal. That was rude.
You just hear him sitting there repeating the same lines. I'm gonna be the last voice you'll ever hear. Grr.
Can I keep the red reticle? Oh my god. hit the barrel. What the hell? Thank
Bruh,
you.
what?
Red means
Dude,
nothing.
Literally, for real. Jonah, where's Jonah? Hi, Jonah.
And then we get another little cutscene where the weight of everything is starting to really rain down on Lara until he walks into the scene here. At this point, Lara believes Jonah is dead because Trinity did have him captured.
I would have cried way long before this.
And oh yeah, she's resilient
Too
as
much.
hell for being able to keep
For
her
real.
composure as long as she has.
Oh my god, he's alive.
But yeah, all the destruction in her wake's really starting to get to her. She thought she lost her best friend, but getting to see him just gives her that little bit of safety to just drop into that vulnerability of
Making everything wet.
like, this is just too much.
Yes, you are making everything
But
worse.
this is actually probably one of my favorite cutscenes of the game. Like,
Same, and the cutscene where
that
You
we
know.
skipped just now.
Jonah, yeah, well, that too. So, oh my gosh, so stupid. She looks so badass.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Where to next?
the where Jonah yells at Lara.
But yeah,
I don't know, Jonah.
Part of the
yeah,
surface.
she's reeling, spinning right now, and Jonah is just such an amazing friend. Helps ground her, knows how her brain works, and just starts talking about the clues they have and that, because he knows like her brain will just fixate on it, get back on task, bring her back,
It's not mine.
and with that,
It's not
she has the revelation that
Clue was left by a 17th century missionary.
the clues that they're trying to follow currently are from the guy who took the silver box. It's not the original Mayans, but it was a
That's a pretty common name.
missionary that came to
Dozens.
the area a few centuries ago that moved the box.
What a loser.
Come on, the road is this way.
So now we're going to follow those clues to a missionary in San Juan,
Okay.
which we are going to jump all over
Without you.
because we got our
What would I
last
do without you?
good out of bounds skip as soon as we get into San Juan here.
What was that in my house? Okay, cool. Anyway.
So, Heart of the Serpent is in the cup near the many stone faces. Hey, look, some stone faces.
This is it. Church of San Juan.
I still think it's cool that the cutscene where, you know, Jonah gets captured and leaves over the box, that it's like literally right next to the skip up there. Like literally the next building.
Yeah, I really need to do some more exploring in the out of bounds here that's not related to progression.
I felt very epic getting inside of the, the cutscene. I tried to trigger it, but it didn't work.
But here we are again, out of bounds. Well, kind of. We're still over the playable area right now, but yeah, we're not supposed to be on this roof.
This also used to being glitchless.
Yeah, this was one of the original skips that initially the mods didn't want to create another category, so it's like, well, you guys are just jumping on things, so it's glitchless. So we had it as part of glitchless for a bit until more stuff was found, and it's like, okay, this is a little bit much to be calling this a glitchless category.
I'm very happy that this is a new category.
Yeah, it's fun to have both
Yeah,
categories.
it is really fun when it functions properly.
Ooh, that was close.
Ooh, ooh, jeez, Louise.
So yeah, we have to wait for that to load in, which is why I clenched a little bit there with how she fell, because until that loads in, there's no collision, and we would have just fallen through the map infinitely.
I think there's an arrow here too, or that's somewhere else, but there's an arrow in one of these when you fall through. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but yeah. It's there.
Not sure about here.
Maybe it's in Paititi, I don't know. But there's an arrow somewhere.
I know in Kwakyaku you can see as if you didn't roll properly. Come on.
Lara, oh my goodness gracious, holy moly.
So unfortunately that means we have to do the skip again. Right at the end. Yeah, that jump, she will die on that jump if she doesn't roll. And
Lara's just showing off.
yeah, she's just loves to eat inputs on occasion. Game?
I feel bad, even though I'm not the one who's controlling the game.
Game?
Oh, did you get a crash?
I think so.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you got the loading screen crash.
Yeah, that's frozen. That's not progressing.
Aw.
That is not progressing.
No. This happened once, but it was at the very end for me, and it was in a run too. Damn.
That sucks.
You suck, Lara. You're being mean.
Hey, we got a clean sacrifice skip, so that was my biggest worry today, so
That is true. You just spawn all the way back to the oil fields. Any day now would be cool.
hey, at least the loading icon's moving now.
That is true. That is true.
There we go. Yeah,
I was hoping this would only be a me thing, but
fortunately the checkpoint's right before we initiate the skip, so
I'm kind of hoping for not car meme now. I was gonna say I hope so, but I kind of hope it doesn't happen.
only if I can get an epic save like the other day there.
True. Only if you can get a good save. Other than that, I don't want it. Especially how she's being so mean today. I even gave her a cookie and she's still being mean.
So I will position myself close to this edge because it does help this load in faster. With how close I landed last time, it loaded faster than I really needed to position and comment on that. But yeah, when I get a normal landing there, we will scoot a little closer to load in this collision there a little earlier.
By the way, bright light again when we get to a fight.
Okay, Bart, get your feet up onto there, please. I don't know why I've been having so much troubles with this jump lately. It's not a hard jump, but...
It's Lara's fault. Don't blame yourself. Lara's stupid.
when in doubt, blame Lara.
Exactly. I'm telling you, every time. I don't think the light is as bright here, is it? As in its childhood skip?
There. No, it's not quite as bad, and it's a lot shorter too, so...
That is true.
Yeah. So, the skip, again, does break the lighting. You can kind of notice it here. And you'll notice it more once we get toward the end of the fight here. Pick up the jerry can. Thank you. Gonna have to shoot a bunch of these guys. They're gonna jump down because I'm a little late.
The piggy!
Yeah, that boar's
Run,
just...
piggy, run!
Like, what the hell's going on here?
Run! Help, my home! What's happening?
There we go. And the lighting
Nice.
will fix as soon as we hit the little cinematic.
Oh my god! Wait! Bring
Yeah,
the pig with you!
It's wanting to come along for the ride.
Wait for me, Lara! Bring me with you!
So in the areas we skipped a whole area inside and underneath a church, following more of the missionaries' clues to find the box, which that is where his final resting place with the box was. So we did have the box, and Jonah ended up getting held captive by Trinity, and decided to grab the box and try to run with it, which didn't work out, as we just saw. Strangely enough, they let Jonah live, though. They just take the box and dump him out of the helicopter.
Go, we got this.
But we're gonna go try to chase down. But when we
Mr.
do,
Dominguez is a nice guy.
when we do try to figure out where they're going here, because of all the apocalyptic stuff that was initiated at the beginning of the game, more of it's going to ensue with a mudslide right now. And the car meme that Kira was just talking about is coming up here. There is a white car that sometimes likes to launch
by the way?
straight up into the air. Thankfully,
I think it's
it
gonna
didn't.
go straight down. Yeah.
And if it does that, it can hit Lara and knock her off the rope as we're swinging. Which is what I was talking about with the epic save I had. It did hit me in one of my D-rests leading up to the hotfix here. And I actually managed to get off to the side and
It was crazy.
save it
It was crazy.
instead of falling to her death. Yeah.
I do find this section really fun though.
Yeah,
Because I jump a lot because it's fun.
it is fun when you know where you're going
True.
and know when it's safe to jump, because these jumps do speed her up faster than her like sliding animation that normally would be happening.
Oh my god. I'm dying. Skip the cutscene. What are you doing?
Ryan. So,
Oh my god.
we had our scheduled break, but if any of you are going like, damn, I'm hungry again, or I went for a break and got myself a drink, but now I really have to go to the washroom, or anything like that, we've got about 4 minutes of cutscenes here before we actually get to the final sequences of the game. All unskippable. It's like 2-minute cutscene, and then we get 2 seconds of input, and then another 2-minute cutscene.
Because we need to know this. This is very important.
How much longer to Paititi?
To be fair, the game is loading a fair amount here, but yeah,
True.
because we're changing maps twice.
I'm sorry I lost the box.
It briefly puts us back in Paititi, and then we immediately leave Paititi to a brand new map.
It's Dominguez. It's Trinity. All the way back, as far as I can remember, it's always been them.
Yes, washroom. We are on a Canadian hotfix.
Everything
washroom.
could have been different.
Everything could have been different.
We will get the box, and we will stop.
We'll get the
Dominguez.
box. We'll stop Dominguez. Yeah, let's get him.
Here we go. Return to Paititi. Meet back up with Etsley to explain that we don't have the box that we said we would get back.
Your Highness.
Lara,
Broken promises.
where's the box?
Amaru has it.
But the death of the sun draws near.
We'll get it back before he completes.
Amaru is such a unique name, and have I ever mentioned that I actually have had a customer order from us with that name, and it just trips me out every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Please,
That's
take your time to
cool.
prepare
Yeah,
yourself.
it's like not a name you expect to see, and
Thank you.
yeah.
You'll get Etsley next, don't worry.
I'll stay here and lend Uchu a hand. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay.
A hug would be nice, Jonah. Loser.
All right, so we talked to Etsley, and we get another one, and now we're going to talk about the plan.
Yay! More cutscenes!
Kukulkan's army will follow the Sack Bay to the Great Stone Bridge to reach the pyramid.
And it's an
If we
epic
approach
plan
them head on,
with a very
we have the best
detailed
chance to
map.
intercept them, but we could easily be overwhelmed.
If we go in this way, it'll be more secure.
Timing would have to be perfect.
Or they'd slip through our fingers.
Can we do both?
Can we do
If we
both?
approach head on, I can go around the other way and act as a sniper.
We get an epic sniping section.
Be trapped.
Epic snipes!
No approaches without risk, but
It's a really cool section too. It's really well done.
Good. Then, on your order.
gather the troops. Let's go. This is where we part. Your path lies that way. Lara.
Yeah, everyone needs to go order some poutine after this.
Etsley, I can't.
I'll pretend I can.
After today, the eclipse will no longer represent us. We keep the sun, but you remove the shadow.
Thank you.
Or have some pea soup and bannock.
Be careful, Jonah.
You too, little bird.
All right,
Exactly.
I wasn't gonna bring it up on the poutine thing because I don't like poutine, but I have no idea what you just said for the what? I've never heard that in my life.
Split pea soup and bannock?
Yeah, what? What? What?
I mean, me neither.
I suppose it's a bit more Métis orientated, but yeah, split pea soup is a big thing for Voyager Métis heritage.
Okay.
And then bannock with a bunch of our indigenous peoples. It's a very simple griddle bread.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. I just didn't know the name of it. All right, the more you know.
So another one of our reload checkpoints to get full breath back and get slightly teleported forward.
Have you ever done the skip that's up here? That skips the having to
The swing?
swing on. Yep.
Yeah, Dee Dee's little thing
Yeah,
there.
Dee Dee's thing. Yep.
Yeah.
I do it all the time now. I'm never probably gonna do it in a run, but it's really fun.
Yeah, it's only like a fraction of a second of time save, and if you miss it,
But
well,
it's still fun.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like not super high risk, but unnecessary risk for pretty much no reward.
You believe hard enough, it's not unnecessary.
So we have a lore question in chat.
Okay.
Why do these people understand English, and why do they know what a sniper is?
I don't know, to be honest.
Why not?
Like, that's one of the things. Like, they did a bunch of great job. By the way, here's our epic sniping section. Look at that snipe.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, maybe they learned it from Dominguez. Maybe he's talked about it.
Yeah, so
From the outside.
there are logical ways you can kind of explain it, even though the game does not. But it still isn't a strong explanation. So they did a great job with, of course, all the cultural history and research for the game. There's a setting for the game, which I have on, where local residents and NPCs will speak their native tongue. But Lara, who is a polyglot, of course, wouldn't reasonably understand them if it's a language she knows of her many languages. But she speaks back to them in English, and they perfectly understand her, which is a little odd. I really wish they would have paid, if you turn that setting on, to, you know, have the actress take some lessons in the languages and be able to have those lines responding in their native tongue as well. But it is what it is.
That would be cool.
However, a native of the town of, like, the Paititi, there, Amaru, left Paititi at a fairly young age, I think in his teens it was, either his teens or as a young adult, and obviously got involved with Trinity and that. So he speaks English and has been involved with Trinity, and of course is back, so, and has infiltrated the higher ranks and started the cult to Kukulkan and all that. So obviously he would have been able to spread some knowledge of the outside world in English that way. So there is a bit of, like, a jump that you can make there as to why some of them would be able to speak English, but the fact that they can perfectly understand her as they do, and that is still a little bit of a stretch.
Teleport. Ayy.
Yeah, Shockshell's character model, if you can maintain consistent forward input there, just teleports into place instead of actually having an animation.
Commander Roar. I should really play it safe here like you do. I just go out on the open and hope I don't die.
Yeah, I've lost a few good paces early running this game to that, so that's why I hang back and just. That section's pretty straightforward. There's 4 enemies you need to kill initially, then you need to give it a split second for a couple guys to enter the arena. And after those enemies enter the arena, you can shoot a barrel, which will kill a bunch more. And then there's one more guy that drops in that you saw I killed right at the end there. And then anyone else, you don't need to. I almost forgot to do this while I was talking.
I was gonna say, Craft, what are you doing?
All the rest of the enemies in the area, you don't actually have to worry about. All you have to do is move forward after killing the correct amount of enemies, and the cutscene will trigger on its own and despawn the rest of the enemies that were in the encounter. So there I crafted bought the skill for it and crafted the Viper's Lure arrows, which is just going to give us a little bit of a safety net for this next encounter. It's also going to allow us to get rid of the first enemy undetected, which is going to give us some time to initiate breaking these 3 pillars that we need to do to start the final boss fight. Once we finish the rest of this little climb here.
Look, she actually made it that time. Didn't die on you.
Yeah, she can be quite temperamental on that jump, especially when you're trying to get those inputs in quickly.
I like trying to get as close as possible and then breaking the camera. Because if you get really close, the camera breaks.
So we'll use 1 on this enemy, and the Viper's Lure is a proximity mine arrow. But also, if you hit an enemy directly on with one of them, it's an instant kill. It's a 1-hit kill, so... We use it to get rid of that guy without getting detected, so we can break the first pillar without detection. Hopefully slip by everyone relatively undetected to the second pillar. And then we'll use the other arrow that I crafted as a little bit of a safety net right here, because this is where we usually get flanked from, so we'll put the arrow there, and there it just went off, killing some of the enemies that tried to flank, so that I have enough time to get the third pillar, which gives us a checkpoint and begins the rest of the actual fight against the boss.
Your world. Today we take control of our destiny.
Alright, and against Dominguez...
Let's go. Get him.
We're gonna do a couple of these charges. Every time he comes to us to melee... Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get stun locked out of trying to do it. Yeah, I got stun locked there.
The way she slipped on the stairs.
Dominguez, come here, because I want my proper
He won't
positioning.
move. Well, he won't move for me at least. He never moves there when he's there.
Oh my God. Someone shot the barrel behind me. That's what happened. Someone shot the barrel behind me. Can I have some color on my screen? Thank you.
No. So yeah, this fight sucks, by the way.
Yeah. This fight can be a little rough. So to try to damage control the chaos of this fight a bunch, the reason why it's really rough is the amount of enemies that spawn in with the boss spam the hell out of you.
Stupid, by the way.
Not gonna come here.
Dominguez, can you not be mean for like 5 seconds?
Oh my goodness.
Do what you're supposed to do. Bro! He's not having it with you.
Come here. Okay.
Stop it, fight. Stop it. Be nice. Come on now.
We're in better position now, though. I can actually get him where I want him to be. This is where initially he was supposed to get the first stab. So now we're in better position. I can grab this ammo. Actually bring him around the corner here. So every time he comes to do his melee charge, I'm going to melee charge him, which will stun lock him away from entering that animation. And as you've noticed, from the few times he's done that attack, it knocks Lara back, it has a large AoE, and does a fair amount of damage. And stun locks her for a reasonable amount of time, so...
It also works for the other enemies, too.
Yeah.
Not just Dominguez.
Alright, now we got the first 3 stabs.
Hey, let's go.
Which gives us a checkpoint. So the first 3 stabs are all 1 checkpoint, which is part of the reason why this fight is a little on the rough side. Other than the amount of enemies that spawn with him, yeah, the checkpoints are a bit brutal. And the rest of these stabs are another checkpoint.
Yeah, but these last ones are really annoying too. Because they're like all grouped together with him after this.
Alright, so the first bit, I just spam him, move forward, and then now I'm gonna just leave the area. Gives me time to reload, and hope that he'll follow me without his ads being in the way.
That barrel spawned in again, by the way, behind you.
Alright, and time. I wasn't actually expecting to have it so early there.
GG.
GG.
Screw you, Domingos.
Now there we go. It's Shadow of the Tomb Raider, no major glitches. Super fun category. A little stressful to try and chase PBs in once you've got the rundown. Once you get past that, you know, that honeymoon stage with the speedrun where PBs are just coming every single time you touch the game. Some of those skips can definitely kill a run pretty fast, as we saw some of the stuff that could happen today.
Thankfully, it didn't soft lock.
Yeah, that is true.
We did avoid any of the possible soft locks, because there are multiple, and well, there's the one that can just happen.
We got the loading screen.
Yeah, we got a loading screen crash though.
All right, do you want to talk about a little bit about where we can find you? You're streaming, anything like that?
Yes, so I am Satori Earth. You can find me as Satori Earth on Twitch and pretty much any other social media you can think of. I stream weekly on Twitch, doing a mess of speedruns. Obviously, very notable with Tomb Raider runs. I also run Stray, gonna be doing, not really PB chasing, but, you know, gonna be doing some runs of Alan Wake 2 coming up. And a whole bunch of other things, as well as, you know, a bunch of casual playthroughs. So I'm there every week, usually later in the week, evenings, and sometimes Saturdays. And my lovely commentator, Kira Lei, she also is a runner of Tomb Raider games and runs a few other games herself, like Plague Tale series.
Stealth, because stealth is fun.
Yeah, stealth category. Stealth category. Speedrun. It's pretty wild.
Kind of a pain, though. Really annoying to route, honestly.
Awesome. I want to say a huge shout out. Thank you both so much for being on, for showcasing the game. That was a great run. Excellent showcase. So thank you so much. It was awesome to see the new category.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for having me, and yeah, giving me a chance to show this brand new category. This category was created just this summer, like,
yeah,
I think either June or July. Like, it's a really fresh category. And
it's really fun too.
We both
makes me want to do any percent.
Yeah, we both put a bunch of work into really fine tune the routing and optimize the run a bit when it first came out. So it needs more runners, both on console and PC. PC, if you learn all the skips, I'm just going to say this right now, any PC runners out there that wanted to try Tomb Raider, PC records up for grabs, because the PC runs there are old glitchless runs that have only the 2 skips in them, so they're missing most of the skips.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing one soon.
PC's free. We just need more runners for the category. And the community for Tomb Raider, though maybe not super active at all times, always is super supportive. So even when a new runner comes in, when all the veteran runners, you know, haven't been playing the game for a while, if someone comes into the Discord with questions, everyone's super supportive with answering any questions a new runner may have. So
Awesome. So yeah, if you're interested in the game, join the Discord server,
I will.
which is probably available on speedrun.com.
It is. It's go to any of the Tomb Raider games, all including the old games. All the Tomb Raider games all run through the same Discord server. We're one big, giant Tomb Runner community.
Awesome. Well, we do have one more game left for y'all tonight, so we are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be coming back with Donkey Kong Country 2 Unveiled. We'll see y'all in just a few minutes, everybody.